Pakistan, a country of 240 million people, home to K2, the second highest mountain on earth, but also a country where 475 people were jailed under blasphemy laws in 2024 alone, and many never made it to court. They were killed by mobs. Pakistan, the birthplace of Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel laureate in history, but also a country where in 2024, 405 women were murdered by their own families in the name of honor. Pakistan, home to ancient Indus Valley civilization, to Sufi music, to world-famous cricket, but also a country where Christian and Hindu girls are kidnapped, forcibly converted and married off. And the police say it was their choice. Pakistan, a country that banned child marriage in Islamabad in 2025, a historic legal breakthrough, but also a country where the Taliban control entire valleys, where more than 600 attacks killed thousands in 2024. Pakistan, the country that elected the first female prime minister in the Muslim world, but also a country where opposition leaders are jailed, where journalists are silenced, and where the new 2025 constitutional amendments give the president and the army lifetime immunity. This is Pakistan Today. We base these videos on the analysis of real cases of people facing persecution in their home countries. We are country expert witnesses from London, focusing on human rights violations. We receive cases from major law firms who represent asylum seekers in the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, and the European Union. Our goal is to prepare evidence-based assessments and expert witness reports for asylum tribunals. Today, it is a story about Pakistan, a country that produces one of the world's largest refugee populations every year, a country where the laws on the books look modern, but where religious laws, tribal customs, and political force decide whether you live or die. If you are an asylum seeker or a legal representative looking for a country expert witness, you will find a verified list of qualified professionals covering all major regions of the world via the link in the description below. Pakistan was created in 1947, when British India was divided. Muslims went to Pakistan, Hindus and Sikhs went to India. The split was violent. Up to 2 million people died. Millions more became refugees in their own land. Pakistan was supposed to be a homeland for Muslims, but the founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, said in his first speech that Christians, Hindus, and other minorities would be free to go to their temples, equal citizens of one state. That promise did not hold. In 1977, General Zia-ul-Haq took power in a military coup. He made one decision that changed everything for the next 50 years. He decided to Islamize Pakistan's laws. This is when sections 295B and 295C of the Pakistan Penal Code, the blasphemy laws, were introduced. This is when the Hudud ordinances were created. These laws turned religious offenses into state crimes. Some of them carry the death penalty. Zia-ul-Haq died in 1988, but his laws are still in force today. 40 years later, after September 11th, the Taliban regrouped in Pakistan's tribal regions, the area now called Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and parts of Balochistan. By 2007, a Pakistani branch of the Taliban, the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP, declared open war on the Pakistani state. In 2024 alone, the TTP launched more than 600 attacks. Soldiers, police, civilians, schools, places of worship, all targeted. Pashtun communities are caught in the middle. The Taliban hunts them for refusing to join. The army hunts them on suspicion of helping the Taliban. The February 2024 elections were marked by violence and irregularities. Imran Khan, a former prime minister and leader of the opposition party PTI, was already in jail. In November 2025, Pakistan's parliament passed major constitutional amendments. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, publicly stated they ran counter to the separation of powers that underpin the rule of law. The amendments give lifetime criminal immunity to the President, the Field Marshal, the Marshal of the Air Force, and the Admiral of the Fleet. They limit judicial independence. They make it harder to challenge the army. And this is where we are today. Let me show you who is in danger. If you are in Pakistan and you belong to any of these groups, you may be at risk. Religious minorities, Christians, Hindus, Sikhs, Ahmadi Muslims, declared non-Muslim by the constitution. People accused of blasphemy, even on a rumor. Women who refuse arranged or forced marriages. Women who divorce, who marry outside their caste, or who marry against family wishes. LGBT individuals, journalists, bloggers, and human rights defenders. Pashtun activists from the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, also known as PTM, members of the opposition party, PTI, and supporters of Imran Khan. Former NATO interpreters and Afghans living in Pakistan, Hazara Shia Muslims, anyone who has refused to join the TTP or local militants. If you recognize yourself in this list, keep watching. If you are in a similar situation, you can find a list of country expert reports on our website and use them in your asylum claim. You can also find a verified list of country expert witnesses on our website. Link in the description. Pakistan has one of the most diverse religious histories in South Asia. Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Sikhs, Ahmadis, Zoroastrians, and Baha'i have lived side by side for centuries. But today, saying the wrong sentence can get you killed. In 2024, at least 344 people were accused of blasphemy. That was up from 329 in 2023. According to the Center for Social Justice in Pakistan, 70% of the accused were Muslims, 14% were Ahmadis, 9% Hindus, 6% Christians. In 2024, 6 Ahmadis were murdered for their faith. 22 Ahmadi mosques were attacked. 308 Ahmadi graves were desecrated. Mob violence is the real danger. People accused of blasphemy are often killed before they reach a courtroom, by neighbors, by students, even by police officers. Section 295B of the Pakistan Penal Code. Defiling the Quran. Punishment, life imprisonment. Section 295C of the Pakistan Penal Code. Defiling the name of the Prophet Muhammad. Punishment, mandatory death penalty. Sections 298B and 298C apply specifically to Ahmadis. They cannot call themselves Muslims. They cannot call their place of worship a mosque. They cannot greet anyone with the Islamic greeting. Punishment, up to 3 years in prison. In July 2025, UN human rights experts called on Pakistan to repeal its blasphemy laws. They warned of widespread impunity for violence and discrimination against minorities. Pakistan produced Malala Yousafzai, who survived the Taliban bullet and won the Nobel Peace Prize for defending girls' education. But in 2024, more than 405 Pakistani women were murdered by their own families, accused of dishonoring them. These are official numbers from the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan. The real figure is much higher. An honor killing is when a relative, usually a father, brother, husband, or uncle, kills a woman because they believe she damaged the family's reputation. What counts as dishonor? Refusing an arranged marriage, marrying someone of her own choice, asking for a divorce, reporting domestic violence, being seen with a man in public, even being raped. The victim is blamed. In May 2025, a video went viral from Balochistan. A young couple was stoned to death by a tribal jirga, a village council, for marrying without permission. No one was punished. Criminal Law Amendment Act 2004, Sections 311 and 311B of the Pakistan Penal Code declares honor killings a punishable offense with up to life imprisonment or the death penalty. But the law has a fatal flaw. Under the Qisas and Diyat Ordinance, murder is treated as a private matter between families. The victim's heirs, usually the same family that ordered the killing, can forgive the murderer and accept blood money. the case is dropped. The 2016 anti-honor killing law tried to close this loophole. But in practice, 80% of honor killing cases never reach a verdict. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, KPK, is the homeland of the Pashtun people. It has a 5,000-year-old culture, the ancient Gandhara Buddhist sites, the warrior code of Pashtunwali, hospitality, honor, refuge for the stranger. But today, the same valleys are war zones. In 2024, the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan launched over 600 attacks. Pakistan recorded more than 1,600 terrorism-related deaths, the highest in nearly a decade. The TTP forces young men to join. Refusal means death. Families are punished. Schools, hospitals, polio vaccinators, and government officials are all targets. Then there is the army's response. Whole villages are accused of sympathizing with the militants. Drone strikes, mass detentions, enforced disappearances. The Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, PTM, peacefully protests these abuses. Its leaders are arrested under terrorism charges. And there are the Afghan refugees. Pakistan hosted them for 40 years. Now Pakistan is deporting them. Over 800,000 people sent back to Taliban-ruled Afghanistan since 2023. The Anti-Terrorism Act of 1997, Sections 6, 7, and 11, define terrorism so broadly that peaceful Pashtun protests, social media posts, and even attending a rally can be prosecuted as terrorism. Punishment, up to life imprisonment or death. The Actions in Aid of Civil Power Regulation, 2011, allows the army to detain anyone in tribal areas for an unlimited time, without judicial review. Pakistani culture has produced some of the world's greatest Qawwali music. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, the Sabri brothers, songs about love, devotion, and freedom. But for many girls, there is no freedom to choose love at all. 21% of Pakistani girls are married before the age of 18. 3% are married before the age of 15. UNICEF 2024. Data. Each year, an estimated 1,000 Hindu and Christian girls are kidnapped, forcibly converted to Islam, and married to their abductors. Most are between 12 and 18 years old. The kidnappers are often middle-aged men. When the girl's family goes to court, she is brought in front of a judge. She has been threatened. Her family has been threatened. She says, quietly, that the marriage was her free choice. The case closes. Then there are Vani and Swara, tribal customs where girls as young as 5 or 6 are given as compensation to settle blood feuds between families. Banned by law, still practiced. Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929, amended in 2025 in Islamabad. Minimum marriage age 18, in Islamabad capital territory only. But in Sindh, Punjab, KPK, and Balochistan, the marriage age remains 16 for girls. And enforcement is weak everywhere. Sindh Child Marriage Restraint Act 2013 sets the marriage age at 18 in Sindh province. Almost never enforced. Section 498B of the Pakistan Penal Code bans forced marriage. Punishment 3 to 10 years imprisonment. Pakistan elected Benazir Bhutto, the first female prime minister in the Muslim world. In 1988, twice, the country has a long, vibrant tradition of street protest, free press, and political debate. But today, opposition is being crushed. Imran Khan, former prime minister and the country's most popular opposition leader, has been in prison since 2023. His party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, has been targeted at every level. Ahead of the February 2024 elections, at least 24 armed attacks targeted PTI candidates and offices. Hundreds of party workers were detained. Journalists who criticize the army or the courts are charged under the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, known as PECA, which makes online fake news punishable by up to 5 years. Bloggers disappear. Some are found dead, some never come back. Anti-Terrorism Act of 1997, Sections 6 and 7, used against political opponents, journalists, and protesters. Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act 2016, amended in 2022 and 2025. Section 20, defamation online, up to 3 years, prison plus fine. 27th Amendment to the Constitution, November 2025, grants lifetime immunity to top state officials from criminal prosecution. Maintenance of Public Order Ordinance allows preventive detention without charge for up to 90 days. According to UNHCR, by the end of 2024, approximately 1.7 million people from Pakistan were displaced, mostly internally displaced by conflict in tribal regions. Pakistan itself hosts approximately 1.5 million Afghan refugees, making it one of the largest refugee hosting countries in the world, where Pakistanis seek asylum. In the United Kingdom, approximately 8,500 asylum applications from Pakistan were filed in 2024, making Pakistan one of the top 10 source countries. In the United States, approximately 4,200 affirmative asylum applications from Pakistanis were filed in 2024. Across the European Union, the largest numbers were in Italy, Germany, France, and Greece, with a combined total of approximately 32,000 applications in 2024. In Canada, approximately 3,100 asylum claims from Pakistanis were filed in 2024. Recognition rates. In the UK, the grant rate for Pakistan asylum claims has been around 48% in 2024. In Italy, around 30%. In the US, asylum grant rates for Pakistanis in immigration courts are around 38%. In Canada, the recognition rate has been around 65% in 2024. What these numbers mean is simple. The people who flee Pakistan are not a small group, and in countries with fair systems, nearly half, sometimes more, are found by judges to have a well-founded fear of persecution. Asylum is granted first and foremost when the state cannot or will not protect you from persecution. Pakistan has laws on paper, but the laws fail at 3 levels. The police often refuse to register a case, an FIR, especially against influential families, religious mobs, or the army. Courts move slowly. Witnesses are intimidated. Bribes work. When the perpetrator is a relative, a tribal council, a jirga or panchayat, or a military officer, there is no neutral authority left to appeal to. What about internal relocation? Courts sometimes ask, can you just move to another part of Pakistan? This is called internal relocation. Here is why it usually does not work. Religious extremists have national networks. A blasphemy accusation in Lahore can follow you to Karachi within days. Honor-killing networks are family-based. Brothers and uncles travel between provinces. There is no anonymity. The TTP and other militants operate across KPK, Balochistan, and parts of Sindh. Forced marriage abductors have political and police protection in their districts. Computerized National ID, the CNIC, is required to rent housing, work, or send children to school. The state can find you anywhere. PTI activists and journalists are tracked nationally by the FIA, the Federal Investigation Agency, and military intelligence. The expert witness cannot accept or reject the applicant's testimony. That is the court's role. The expert assesses the applicant's account against the country situation and provides a detailed conclusion on the risk of return to the country and the risk of internal relocation. In most cases, if the claimed information is accepted, internal relocation and return to Pakistan are unsafe for these types of persecution. And if the court accepts the applicant's evidence, asylum can be granted in most cases. This is why a personal assessment of each individual case is critically important. What may happen on return? Arrest under blasphemy laws. Pretrial detention often lasts years. Mob violence, even before any trial. Honor killing on arrival, often with police complicity. forced marriage upon return to family, particularly for women, terrorism charges under the Anti-Terrorism Act for political activists, enforced disappearance for Pashtun and Baloch activists, torture in custody, well documented by UN special rapporteurs. These outcomes contradict the 1951 Refugee Convention, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the European Convention on Human Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the UN Convention Against Torture. Pakistan is a country where a single sentence can be a death sentence, where a woman's body is treated as her family's property, and where the state itself has just given the army lifetime immunity from prosecution. Freedom House rates Pakistan as partly free, with a score of 32 out of 100 in 2024, among the lowest in South Asia. Civil liberties, 17 out of 60. Political rights, 18 out of 40. Pakistanis are not asking for special treatment. They are asking to be safe, to love, to worship, to speak, to live. If you are from Pakistan and you recognize yourself in this video, you are not alone. On our website, you will find a list of country expert reports for Pakistan asylum cases, a verified list of country expert witnesses across the UK, the US, the EU, and Canada, and free resources for asylum seekers and legal representatives. Link in the description. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share. We will continue to cover the countries the world ignores. Thank you for watching.